sum up, for 1 year, real estate is an industry which we have to talk about 3 to 4 years.
No, I'm only talking about since the new government came, how much have things changed for you? If at all there has been a change.
It usually takes time for government to form the policies. It usually takes time.
Yes.
And hopefully we hope that the procedures become much easier for us. The planning, development permissions become much easier. And going forward, there are some steps that the government has taken which to help the developers, and hopefully the next 2-3 years.
Can you tell us what have been the changes that have come positive for real estate developers like you? Because essentially Mumbai is the real estate capital for India, and people like you who are involved in such projects, you actually set the trend. So according to you, what has been the few steps that have helped real estate developers?
In Mumbai, the biggest problem for any real estate developer is getting the approvals, getting the permissions, which used to take about 12 to 18 months sometimes, because the process was not crystal clear.
Absolutely.
And it was not online. The new government has made the permission system online, so now we have to submit the plans via an online platform, and there's a deadline to each person's approval, each person's signature, and the process has become much more clearer. So that would help in reducing the duration of a project.
Okay, Mr. Jain, approval cost. Many developers openly talk about it in conferences. Some people even say that it's up to 240 rupees per square feet to get approvals. Now, in that kind of situation, does online procedures actually bring down such costs? This they had tried in customs. When they started with customs online procedures for imports and exports, they had considerably brought down the corruption. Do you think the same thing can happen for real estate developers also?
Absolutely. It is going to happen. It is going to come down to much lesser level if all the permissions are online.
But this has been an initiative taken by the state government of Maharashtra, correct?
Yes.
If I'm not wrong?
Yes.
Right. So in case of central government approvals, how much have things changed, especially on the environmental front?
See, state government, since we have the same party in both state and central government, it definitely helps. The decision making is much faster. So obviously, whatever decision the state government makes, there's a huge involvement of the center as well.
Okay.
Plus, we require an environment permission from the center for each and every project which exceeds 2 lakh square feet or 20,000 square meter.
Right.
So those procedures have also become slightly easier, not easier in terms of the requirements, but in terms of the speed of which the approval was given, it has become slightly easier.
Slightly easier. So only things can improve. You are trying to say.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Jain, let me put another thing. There has been the demand by various associations of real estate bodies. For instance, I guess Credai also made a strong appeal for one window clearance for any kind of projects. You think that's actually feasible by any means? Is it possible to have one window clearance?
Yes, absolutely.
Or at least have 3-4 windows, to bring down the number of clearances?
No, one window system is absolutely necessary and essential for us developers. Because let us take an example of foreign countries. Let's take example of New York. Let's take example of Hong Kong. Let's take example.
Can you tell us how things work there?
Where there it's absolutely single window clearance, and there'll be executives and associates of each and every project. They'll be given to you to each and every project, and to and fro with them, and get the clearance of the project.
But then, Mr. Jain, there is also the fact that there the sales takes place only after the project is over. There is no practice of customer advances and all that.
No.
They do?
100%.
Okay.
See, there are different models of sales over there.
Okay.
One model is once the building is ready, then you sell it.
Okay.
See, there are two markets. There is the primary market and there is a secondary market.
Okay.
Primary market is majorly in India, where we sell the flats directly to the end user.
Correct.
In a secondary market, what happens in New York mainly is they construct the building, they lease it out completely, and they sell the entire building to a fund. So that is the secondary market. But even in New York, even in developed countries, there are primary markets where before even starting the construction, the sales have begun.
That raises a very important issue, Mr. Jain. It's about REITs. REITs, I guess We have in the media we have been talking about it for the last probably 5 years or 6 years, but still it's still not born. So there are of course talks about how it's going to come into force very soon because of even SEBI getting into the act and all that. Now, when REITs come into full play, do you think the real estate investment trust, okay, where REITs would actually buy a full project and they would market it? Now, do you think that same system will come here, and where the developers will complete the project and then give it to REITs, and then they would be able to market it or sell it?
Absolutely, it will come. Not in the near future. It will come eventually. It is better for the industry as a whole, because sometimes what happens, buyers are not necessarily, they know each and everything about a project before getting into a sale agreement or a allotment letter system. So developers like us, we like to be transparent.
Right.
We like to be completely clear with the end user that this is what we are building and this is the permission that we have received and this is the timeline for the project. But sometimes the people are from ordinary fields. Some are bankers, some are pilots. They don't necessarily understand the real estate industry as well as REITs would do. So it would be easier for us to explain what good things we are bringing and how it would add value to any end user.
Okay. Mr. Jain, now also tell us, the REITs on the other hand would say projects in India don't have that kind of size and scale where they can take it up under the REITs. Do you think how will that be solved? That problem will be solved of scale and size of projects?
There is no problem of scale and size of projects in India, trust me.
Is it?
Yeah. There are enough big projects where any foreign fund or foreign REIT or an Indian REIT can come in and invest huge amount of money.
I see. Let me come to Mr. Asrani. Now, Mr. Asrani, when it comes to marketing, there has been so much of new innovations coming in, especially because of the internet. What do you think are the ways of attracting the end consumer, end user, for both residential as well as commercial space? What are the various new ways? And then probably we'll come to the specifics.
See, ways are not new.
Okay.
Media vehicle is not new.
Okay.
Media is the same.
Okay.
The approach has changed. The digital was there always.
Mm-hmm.
The print was there. The outdoor was there.
Okay.
The radio was there. Televisions, since ages we have been going through.
Okay.
It's only all about innovation, and marketing is always known by that.
Okay.
So this is a new innovating way that selling units online. You can see that new trend, and lot of units can be clocked in. How? Why? Is the query.
Okay.
Very simple. Selling a unit online, there is a debate that is throughout in the media that's happening all over. That how can you sell it online? Will people buy 1 crore of a unit online? I'll say why not? Because it's in black and white on the net. It's written there.
Mr. Asrani, I guess it was Kolte Patil in Pune.
Pune. Yeah.
One project, I guess it was about 600 crores they sold in about 15 days, only because through their online marketing, only through that. There is no other.
See, there are many names now. It's no more a new venture or a new thing that's gone out. It's Kolte Patil, it's Tata, it's Google that has come up with Google Online Shopping Festival, GOSF,
Yes.
which is doing very good wonders in India.
But that helps
and the reason is very
projects like
simple.
yours.
An IT guy who was looking for our property online, he put up a query that I'm sitting somewhere in US, I'm working for a tech company, and my positioning is onshore in US out here, and I want to book a property. And that was interesting. See, to book it online, everything has to be in black and white on papers, and it's there. So rather there is more level of trust. It's more ease of buying. Suddenly he'll just do RTGS sitting out there, and everything goes in, and he gets the online SWIFT code receipt that this money has been transferred to so and so developer. So this is an online world. Time is of essence.
Isn't that
time
a
is of
fabulous
money.
thing that nowadays people are ready to invest lakhs of rupees through online means? It's usually Flipkart, where you buy a thumb drive or a hard drive or something like that. Today people are ready to buy properties worth lakhs. It's a fabulous jump in both marketing as well as the end user customers trend, isn't it so?
Good for us.
Good for you. Very true. Let me now ask you, Mr. Jain, when it comes to NRIs, I hope you have completed your point, right?
Yeah. Fine, perfectly fine.
Because it's related to what you are saying. And when it comes to NRIs, among your projects, what kind of difference you find with them, their demands, their profile, and what do they require from developers like you, unlike a domestic consumer?
So there will be two things over here. First will be transparency in terms of dealing, in terms of letters, in terms of plans, in terms of agreement, in terms of delivery.
Okay.
Second will be designing the product. We don't design product for the NRIs. We design for the local market requirement, because eventually a person who is an investor, he needs to sell to an end user at the end of the project. So that end user is going to come from Mumbai, from our city.
So your projects are not in any way marketed towards NRIs alone.
No, they are marketed towards NRIs, but they are not made to live for the NRIs.
Okay.
If you ask me if there is any amenity in my project which would be for the NRIs, it's not there. It's everything is for local community. So that is why hence the NRIs invest with us, because they believe that at the end of the project they'll be able to sell and get a good return on their investment.
See, point, if I take from that angle, is trying to convey same simple reason.
Mm-hmm.
Across the world, there is a concept of open kitchens. Indian cooking is different. If a food is being cooked in my home, the third home from my home can smell it. Okay, this is what's being cooked.
We are a country
So
of
that's not going to work in India, right? So NRI might look for an open kitchen, but ultimately he has to exit from that product at some point, and then it goes to same local buyer. So that is not a fit for him. Now he'll ask me to put up a wall because he cannot tolerate open kitchen.
But
and
Mr.
that too leads to a living
Asrani,
room.
NRIs would also demand various other services which will come along with the houses, in which domestic buyers may not be interested, right?
See, basically,
For instance, management of tenants, management of various services that they are provided, because they are going to be far away.
maintenance, housekeeping,
Exactly.
everything. See, it's very relational question again. Now, first thing which you started was after BJP government, what has happened? I don't know what has happened, but one thing has happened for sure, that NRI buying has increased in India, and that too in a big number.
Really?
Because of this concept of stable government. They're at least back of their mind, in the conscious note, they're happy that for 5 years this government is not going to fall. So that stability has given a lot of boost to NRI market.
Oh, I see.
And then there are a lot of calculations come up from JLL, Knight Frank, CBRE, Lias Faras, and many other sources that Indian GDP is going to outperform through China and this and that. Stock market gonna there, dollars gonna go there, crude is gonna go this, and the international problems. If you see what happened in China, every of the market collapsed. What happened to India? Total impact of 1.3. That's it, 1.3%. So that there is a lot of stability.
Except for stock market investors, I don't think anybody else felt the
pinch
at all.
Yeah, so that was like surprising. What happened when Russia-Ukraine war happened? In our stock market, we were talking some 28,000 Sensex that day, 300 points up. So there is a great demand of NRI buyers. But I'll tell you very honestly, there is no difference now. When it comes to NRI, the only basic difference happens is in the process of buying.
I see.
Rest, on the product side, the Indian buyers are a lot more exposed now.
People here ask for property management, proper facility management company.
Mm-hmm.
The standard of living has gone up in India drastically in the past, if I say in the past 5-6 years.
Very true. Very true.
And the only reason is they're exposed. They're traveling across the world every year. A middle income group people has at least one international trip planned in a year once. That is what happened. And that is thanks to the HR policies of LTA and all that compulsion that has come in. So that has brought them at the equal power of NRI.
Okay. I'll ask you both the same question. It's very interesting. You're talking about how products are not actually made only for NRIs or only for domestic. It's actually the same product. It's
End
they
user.
pick and choose.
End user, for
Correct?
end user.
End user. Mr. Lalit Kumar Jain, I'm sure you are all friends, once told me in an interview that the difference between luxury projects and the affordable housing projects are disappearing completely. The only difference which is left between a luxury project and affordable housing is the space. Every project which is given in every facility which is given in luxury is also given in affordable. It's only the difference in brand. The modular kitchen in luxury might have a terrific brand. The affordable housing also gives modular kitchen, but it will not be that kind of a brand. But otherwise, Luxury and affordable is only difference between space. Luxury will have huge space, affordable may not have that much space. Would you also, as developer in Mumbai, would agree to that, or will you have a different opinion?
Absolutely, he is correct. Because even in affordable housing segment, people require the amenities because that is the level of lifestyle they want to live. That is where they aspire to be, and hence, for us as developers, also whether we are doing a project in Mira Road or we are doing a project in Worli, the amenities that we provide, we try and make sure that it aids to the lifestyle of the family living there.